for waiting. I don't see my watch, so sorry for your waiting. My name is Aline. I'm a designer. I'm an industrial designer. I'm teaching in Mexico in a university, in a public university. And first, I wanna excuse me with us.
The mic is still not started. Just give us.
Oh, okay.
Can you check is it on mute?
Nope. Nope. Just a second.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Sorry.
I don't know. No?
Is the sound
Yeah. Oh, okay. And again, sorry for the late. I'm sorry for the switch the presentation. I think the professor it was great with a lot of examples. And I want to thank you to Carol, to Brenda, to Shanista, all of you that invite me to present one of the projects, an approach for a point of view science, the theory of design. The first, I want to apologize with you because my English is not terrible. Next up steps. But I will try to explain clearly, and if you want a doubt or a questions, just need to
raise?
yes, raise your hand. The project call it the Desierto los Viernes as PSPN, as PSS experience, and I want to present this focus on this point of view about the importance and the value of design in the model of sustainability. Because I think, and I told you all my students that the point of view, the discourse and the reflection to doing in something, it's very, very important. And in the model, it's more important. Because if you want it, if you know it, we have a three part of this spheres, like economy part, a social part, and an ambient part, no, for sustainability. You can put it all of one you want it, all part of what you want it, and the important is the design in the context. I want to present what do you design? What are you doing for design? What are you doing for all the users, all the consumers, and producers? And they could make our desires, but we have a lot. We are important in this context with the sustainability. And one question more is, we design for whom? And for whom it's important and central in the users and central in the consumers, because they have a specific needs to explain, and the designer have a role of the important role in this context to interpret their needs to transform in objects or in products or in systems that connect the people, that help people, that make a better life. The professor, Brenda, talking about the quality life, and I want to ask you to, what is the meaning of these words? What is the meaning of the design? What is the meaning that, what can we do for better work? And yesterday, the Professor Carlo has a question, a very good question. This is an opportunity to change. To change for what? To change for make a better world, and you are a very important piece. And that's want to be with my presentation, that you have a reflection, that you make a construction about this issue in your context. We need to show the value of design. And how can we do that? I will ask you, and I want to help me to contrast this work about how can design make better life for our people. And we can understand, and we need to understand the necessities or the needs that the people have, and we can resolve the problems, but not the traditional problems like a spoon, like a chair, like a table, and the specific problems that connect in the system, in all the system. If you are thinking about design like a center of this sphere, and this sphere is constructed every day and change everything. Sometimes the part of the economic is more important, sometimes the social part is more than that, and all the context is constructed by the ambient, by the nature, by the traduce these all needs about the natures and with the social demands. So we need to identify the need, the real need. The people needs what? What do you think? What do you think? The people need water, the people need air, the people need a house, the people need a car, the people need an iPhone. Really? What do you think? What do you think about the design? What do you think about what are you doing, and what can change? What can change for better? What can change for making experience in our users, in our consumers, very conscious about your all the context? What do you think? You? Yeah. What do you think about the design has to be for better work, for better action, for better life, for all consumers, all users, all childs, and everyone?
It has to be for a better life.
Yes, but what do you think the design could be as a solution, as a present a demand, a present all this context about the consumers intelligence? What about?
I think to make life more convenient.
More convenient? You are a consumer, no? What do you, consumer, design? Really design? Or what kind of design?
Satisfaction for the customer.
Satisfaction for the customers. We resolve problems about the function, the engineering, the aesthetics, the design of the objects, no? But what really consumer about design? objects nice, objects cheaper. What kind of objects? What kind of products? What kind of systems? In Mexico, we have a big problem that we are making as solutions copy all the cultures, all the problems, all the necessities, we are experts in copy. And in England, and in Paris, and in Rome, what kind of work we are constructed every day like a designers? How do you think? Yes.
Something which goes with the current lifestyle that we are living in.
And it's very important because we don't consumers that all and nothing that we don't need it. Yeah?
No, but sometimes, like taking myself as a consumer, the basic needs like food, shelter, security, in terms of monetary aspects, and etc., I have all these things within me. But now it's not the need that I'm fulfilling while buying a product. So it's more like want. Also sometimes like there are different bottles which are available in the market, but every time I go and I buy a new one because it's either aesthetically beautiful or durable, etc. But the first criteria is to fulfill to add a new product which will fit into my lifestyle. The
Yes.
first criteria would be that.
Yes, and all the people outside, the people in other country, the people like a neighbors, what they buy, why they consume it. Design? I want to think about it because we need the first step to understand how can be a consumer, a responsible consumer, a conscious consumer, and more important, a respectful for an environment. The presentation on the morning was about the life cycle of the product, and we can understand it. We can use a good materials, a process with less energy, and we need to analyze all the product and make the connections with all the system. No? But our consumers think in the same way. What do you think? What do you think about the role of the designer in the context and in a specific context? We have all the tools to make the world better.
Awareness among the consumers, creating an awareness.
Most of them, yes. And what else? Yes.
No, answer. I feel moreover right now to make a better world, we also, from human perspective, we need to make people more responsible, aware and other things. But the point of these things are they are volatile. Like if I want to make my friend aware about say environment, he'll feel aware say for a day or two and then it's gone, right? So my perspective as a designer is to design something that does not force the user or moreover makes the user act in a conscious way, but after it's done, say for example, I create a product that does not tell that it's environmentally friendly or anything, but after using the product, in a way the product communicates with the user that you're successful in enabling this behavior of environmental awareness. Now this is kind of inbuilt, so he's from inner side, no one is telling him to do it, but cautiously he's thinking that he has done it. So this awareness is more stronger than somebody physically telling.
Yes.
So in that aspect, maybe designers can play a
us, no? Can help us, can make better situation for all of them. But understand the need and know the need, it's more important. And I want to present this project because the challenge of the students was to understand the problems that the people has to in the community. And not so easy because the project has a very a huge steps between the phases, between the stages of all the projects, because they don't understand what is the need, what is the real need of the consumers or the users and the community that have a problem of design. Do you know this project?
Yes.
Design for the other 90%? This is with two more ingredients, no? Creativity and innovation. And in this context with sustainability, we need to plus creativity and plus innovation. And I think this is the clue, how do you say the clave? The
Key?
The key for design the future. Difference between approaches in this process, in this model. Do you know that this methodology is about the different kind of methodologies to making steps? In university, in UAPAS Capozalco, have a model to resolve the problems, and the stage of it's very specific to help the designers, to architect designers, graphic designers, and industrial designers to make a solutions. And this is a difference between approaches with it's not in two columns or in two comparative columns, but just we need to understand it, how can design and how can change the process of design. Why? Because the need is different. The need is the first step that we can understand and move all the process that we can do. I don't know. Do well. Now I will try it. Really try it to expose the translate. The video is in Spanish, but I want to see it with all the stage, all the phases of the projects. It's in the Parque Nacional Desierto.
El Parque Nacional Desierto de los Leones es uno de los más grandes e importantes para la Ciudad de México. Tiene 1,866 hectáreas de bosque, por lo cual es considerado uno de los pulmones de la ciudad. El Desierto de los Leones es un lugar donde se puede respirar aire puro y disfrutar de un ambiente tranquilo. Dentro del parque se encuentra el exconvento de la Orden de los Carmelitas Descalzos. Este fue el primer convento construido en México a principios del siglo XVII. Posee una arquitectura muy atractiva y un sinfín de historias. Las autoridades y comunidad de la delegación Coajimalpa se acercaron a la UAM para solicitar su contribución a resolver las problemáticas del parque.
Hemos realizado 4 visitas de campo al Parque Nacional Desierto de los Leones.
¿Empezó otra vez?
Sí.
El Parque Nacional Desierto de los Leones es uno de los más grandes.
Hasta ahí.
Hemos realizado 4
Sí, perfecto.
visitas de campo al Parque Nacional Desierto de los Leones.
El Desierto de los Leones es un parque nacional cuya zona más emblemática es el exconvento de los Carmelitas Descalzos. Alrededor de este se ofertan servicios de estacionamiento, sanitarios, venta de alimentos y bebidas, dulces típicos, artesanías y ropa. Los comerciantes son una comunidad de aproximadamente 90 personas. La mayoría de ellos son familia, sin embargo están divididos en dos grupos, el rosa y el café. Aunque todos necesitan que su lugar de trabajo progrese, no solo por el beneficio económico, sino porque el parque es parte de su identidad e historia familiar, la división de equipos de trabajo ha creado conflictos entre comerciantes y con las autoridades.
For construct this recreation or for construct this space with recreation. Oh.
¿Aquí?
Un poquito más.
¿Cómo le pongo?
Esto está listo. Ahí. Por aquí.
Acá, perdón.
Identificando las zonas de evaluación y
etnográficas.
la división de equipos de trabajo ha creado conflictos entre comerciantes y con las autoridades.
Uno es la que quisiera que compartiéramos como la primera parte de la construcción de un diario de campo, que es básicamente la libreta física o un soporte y la persona.
Las áreas de oportunidad y definimos los retos de diseño para trabajar en la comunidad de manera colaborativa. Las oportunidades identificadas son detectar un objetivo común para todos los miembros de la comunidad, propiciar la comunicación efectiva, democratizar la información y favorecer el trato igualitario. Con el fin de atenderlas, definimos 3 ejes de trabajo: identidad, comunicación y equidad. El grupo se dividió en 3 equipos que generaron propuestas de diseño enfocadas al eje asignado.
Fuimos instruidos en temas de diseño de sistema, producto, servicio sustentable por...
¿Me salto? ¿Lo que sigue? Sí. Ok.
They made a lot of presentations at different stage of the process, and in one of them, this one.
Ah, ok.
Yes.
Sí.
Actually, no, it doesn't change it, the image. No.
Vamos a ver. So maybe we can...
No, we can
leave it?
Yes.
¿Sí? A lo mejor sí.
Ahí está. Sí.
Ok.
No.
Ah, sí. Ok.
All of them making a to explain geographical features, historical features, sociocultural features, and socioeconomic features. And all of them make it in different stage of the process to diagnosis, to make it a diagnosis of about the problem in this area. The visits of the field and the structure, all the actors and all the situations, relationships in between the consumers, the commerce, and all kind of leader of this kind of the group for the specific commerce, like a dress, like souvenirs, and very, very specific. And this is a phase of problem. They say that three of problems that explain all the needs, all the situations specific in a visual to have a lot to structure the information. And second visits, yep. And the field notebook, it was a tool very important because they narrative and construction the narrative about the project. How can we see all the things that happen in this area and all the things that could be success or could be failed in this situation and on a specific situation. Did a brief and think description and the analysis of this kind of information, yes, like a critical highlights, and put it categorized by topics. And all this stage sounds great, but in this stage it becomes the problems because the students doesn't see it. There are really problems that it was a communications. They structure all the project about the needs or the needs in materials or in the service, but not in the communications. And when they proposes or when they make a propose about the design of the kitchen or the stuff or the souvenirs or something like that, and present the commerce and presents the community say no, we don't need it. And it's nice, but we don't need it. It's more cheaper. We can understand, and we can ordinate it all the structure. And they said, it's cute, but no thanks. And that phase, it's very hard because the students fail all frequency. They said, what is wrong? What is wrong with the necessity? What is wrong with the people? The people needs this kind of stuff, and the people doesn't need it. The people have resolved this part, and they have a lot, and have another kind of problems like communications, like with a chief leader, with communications doesn't flow, doesn't connect with the real necessities of the commerce. And they will go back to analyze all the information, to read it again and visualize it again and try to understand what is the real problem. And they use another kind of methodologies, another kind of tools to try to explain it and to construct the stakeholders and map actors and categorize all the roles, but not the role of the designer. What is the importance of the things that they interpreted the informations between the commerce and the leader of the zone, the area, they don't saw it, and it's what's the most difficult have to do to explain how to interpret it about in service or in design, or in a product design. No? Sí. Ya, sí. Ya, todo eso de la workshop, dice. And this is the second phase with the analysis, the map actors, and putting in the contrast all the information, searching and specific communications or ways to communicate the necessity of the community. ¿No? Ya. Entonces ya salió todo.
Concluye.
No.
¿No? Ok. Listo. ¿Termina la presentación?
So, the phases of the ethnography, this fieldwork with the community, that was very, very important for this, for the students. They need to be to more practice, to more visits, to deep interview with the commerce, with the locators, and the users. And we restructured all the projects, and this moment for the students was terrible because they don't saw it exactly what is the needed. Yes. With the system map, and in this time, I love this map because explain in this for the students was not a disaster, but it's understanding what is the connection with a specific moment and in a specific time, in a specific timing. It was very important for them. No? With the system map, we are all visualization, all the mappers, all actors, and connect the relations, and they found it finally. The communication was the problem, was the real problem that the community needs to communicate what is the value of de lo que ellos hacen, how do you say?
Of what they do.
What they do.
Mm-hmm.
And this is tool for the lens, no? Concept description form. This is a very important because all the teams have worked with this form and how do you say rellenar? Fill the camps and homologate in all the teams, in all the informations, and share the informations. But it was very, very difficult for the students because one of them thinking about the communication, one of them know about the economics, one of them the kitchen or the products, and it was a really, really message. And this looks very simple, but it's very hard work to make and to fill all the camps for with an order, with a structure, with a simple and only put the need or the necessity specific with the project. Lens system map is another tool that they use it. No, we connect all the phases or the stages of the project, and the graphics. Well, it's very important to explain it that, no, and construct the blueprint. It's the final. It's funny because all the teams have the same information, but the translate information is totally different. You can see it. This kind of structure, this kind of order is different for them. You know? And it's two teams working in the same project with identified the different necessities. No? Mm-hmm. And this is the other project. This is the other team, sorry. And the other tool that they use it is the business model canvas, and we can use this tool to explain the structure and the system. And it's very easy to fill the camps, but translate and put the information, very important, and make the connections is the difficult part. No? Because we can explain it with this, a project like a service or like a product, and we can coordinate all this information in correct way to communicate. ECDA tool, I don't know exactly what is the tool. But the students use it very specific, and they dominated they use it the information. One of team use it in this format, and the other team use it in this one. Another. No? And the information, visualize it, all the information is more important. And it's important for them because it's the way that they know it and founded the solutions about the communication, about the connections. Yes. So finally, for all of them, the conclusions. Different methods can help us to identify the need to make the change that we wanted. And it's important because the methodology is important for the designers, for have a result, a result at the end of the process. But we need to understand the different methods and how can use these methodologies or these templates or these tools or this in a specific moment. One of the team have a lot of problems to use different tools with no sense, with no order, and they work it a lot. But if they know it, the tools, and they know it, the methods, they use it in the correct way and in the correct moment. No? To understand how we consume to start the change, it's very important because the locators and all the merchants, merchants. It's the beginning of the line of the consumer, no? And they start to change, and they start to change the thing about the design. It's very important to make a value of the in this project, or will be in this project. No? Make identity for design process, and how can we measure the impact? The Professor Ragnani explained it, how can we measure the impact of what they do it and what we needed of us. No? The benefits can be measured for their impact at the moment that they implemented, and it could change any moment. So don't feel bad or sad because the project doesn't have the result that you expected. It's changed all the time. No? And that's it. Thank you. Sorry. My colleagues that make all the presentations, the students, Erica, the Professor Sandra, and the other students, Pamela, all of them, all of they make these presentations and the order, and that's it.